Let's talk about Vini. We all saw that performance against Villarreal. We all saw it, man. Like we all saw it. We all saw what he did. He cooked up in that game. He absolutely cooked in that game. Honestly, like that was Vini, bro. That was Vini. That was the Vini that we know. That Vini that was saying could have won a Ballon d'Or. That was his spirit inside him in that game. That was Vini. Vini absolutely cooked in that game, honestly, and he's got 2 goals to cap it off as well. The goals might have been scrappy, the penalty was not the greatest in the world, but they went in, and that's all that matters. And it wasn't just about the goals. I've said this about Vini as well. It's not just about the goals when he scores the goals and then we say, oh, he had a good game. It's the things that he does on the pitch that just show confidence. And in that game, Vini was showing true confidence, and you could see it in the way that he was playing. You could see it in the way that he was playing. Because I remember an episode where I said that Vini, I can't remember the last time that I saw Vini like full on take on a man, like full on like beat a man. I couldn't remember the last time I saw it in Vini, right? But in that game, I saw him destroy a man, bro, shade a man's confidence. I was getting flashbacks of the Girona game in 2024. Destroyed a man's confidence, bro. I'm sure Yankuto watched that game, probably reached out to what's his name, Mourinho or Moreno, whatever it is. Probably reached out to him and said, "Yo, bro, you good?" Honestly, I started like a community of people that Vinny has cooked. Him, Kimmich, Yankuto, all of them in a group chat talking about players that Vinny has cooked, bro. Vinny destroyed that guy's career, bro. Honestly, I don't know if the guy is going to play football ever again. If I had the platform, I'll maybe check up on him as well, see if he's doing well. Vinny destroyed him, and it's not just about the way Vinny cooked him. It's not just about the fact that Vinny cooked him. It's the way he was cooking him. Pause, absolutely pause in this. But Vinny was going in, Vinny was going out, Vinny was going side, Vinny was going left, Vinny was going right, Vinny was going everywhere, bro. That guy had nothing in that game, and at the end of the day, Vinny got him sent off. Vinny got him sent off. So, bro, like that's the definition of cooking somebody. That's the definition of finishing somebody's career, bro. Honestly, nah, honestly, like Vinny, yeah, Vinny, Vinny. Sometimes when you, this is Vinny, bro. This is Vinny. See, how many of you have heard about Kimmich since Vinny cooked him against Bayern? Since that Bayern game, yeah, honestly, let me tell you, yeah, since that Bayern game, my entire perception of Kimmich has changed. Since that Bayern game, bro, I can't look at Kimmich the same. There's a way I used to look at Kimmich before. Like, I'm not gonna act like I watch Bayern week in, week out, so I don't know his strengths necessarily and his weaknesses, but like I watched Bayern a good amount of times. I've watched Germany, all these things. I watched Kimmich play. So nowadays, when I watch Kimmich, when I see Kimmich, when I think about Kimmich, I don't think about him the same way, bro. Because every time I think about him, I remember that game against Vini. I've never seen Kimmich so vulnerable in a game. I've never seen him so vulnerable. I've never seen him so shaky, looking like he's not even supposed to be on the pitch. I've never seen that from him. But that game just changed my perception of Kimmich. I can never look at him the same. I can never look at him as this like player who is almost untouchable. Like there's just some players in football that they almost look untouchable, like their status, like just that level in the game. Like they almost look untouchable. Like you can't say he's not as good as you think he is. Those type of players, and Kimmich was one of them before that game for me. And Vinny destroyed him in that game, and I lost that perception. Like in my head now, Kimmich is not even that good. Over exaggerating it and everything, but you get what I mean. But Kimmich is not that guy, bro. After that game, and that's what Vinny did in this game. Destroy this guy. This guy is nowhere near Kimmich level or anything like that. But destroy this guy and show true confidence. Going in, going out, going left, going right, going sideways, going north, going south, going west, going east. Destroyed his career, honestly. And this is the Vinny I want to see. But I've said this too many times that this is the Vinny I want to see. And this is now my problem with Vinny. This is where we start to draw apart. This is where I start to say, yo, calm down. You know that Carlo Ancelotti, calm down, like, calm down. Like, we need to chill. And that's because, like, we say this time and time again, but, like, we say this now, and the next game is another story, and the next game is another story, and the next game is another story. Like, it happens too often. It's happening too often. Like, he needs to be able to put up these performances week in, week out. You can't just be saying, that oh he had a good game. I want to say Vinny is having a good run of form. I want to say that Vinny has been good this season. I don't want to say Vinny had a good game. I don't want to say that because I'm looking at this game here, this Villarreal game, and it was exciting. It was everything that you wanted in Vinny. But then you think about the Atletico Madrid game 2 games before, where he cooked up a stinker. Let's be fair, every single Madrid player cooked up a stinker, but Vini also cooked up a stinker in that game. So how can I now say, oh, Vini, when I'm thinking about that Atletico Madrid game? It kind of sobers you up, right? Like you're thinking about this game, but you're thinking about the Atletico Madrid game, and you're thinking this guy had an absolutely stinker in this game. And then you want to now wind it back here. It was on that game that Vini absolutely cooked, the Levante game. The Levante game when he absolutely cooked in that game, and that episode where I said that Vini showed true confidence, that he showed his pass off and everything. What came before the Levante game? It was the Espanyol game. The Espanyol game where Vini looked, and like, let's be fair again, none of the players really looked their best selves. They couldn't really tackle that low block and everything. We had to score two outside of the box bangers and everything to win the game. So none of the players looked their best selves. So let's not be fair. I'm always going to point that out. None of the players looked their best selves. But again, in all those players that didn't look their best selves, Vini also did not look his best self. Look far from it, right? So, okay, Vini had a great Levante game, but he had a terrible Espanyol game. Wind it back even more, you think about the Real Oviedo game where he came off the bench and absolutely cooked in that game. Came off the bench, scored, got an assist from Mbappe. Everything was looking clean, everything was looking good, and we said this is the Vini that we know. What came before that game? The Osasuna game that got him benched in the first place. The Osasuna game that got us feeling like Vini has not changed from last season. The Osasuna game that made us feel like, what are we going into this season expecting? Can we even depend on Vini in that left wing? That game. Can you see this? Can you see the pattern here? Consistency. There's no consistency right now. I've made too many episodes as to why I think Vini is struggling right now. I've said it too many times to even start breaking down everything. And honestly, I can't keep on giving those excuses for him as well. I think that Mbappe has changed up his game to a certain level, right, this season. Like we can all see that this whole playmaker thing that he's doing, this relationship that is built up with Adagula, everything. Like I think that he has changed up his game to such a high level that you have to now think about Vini and think about him changing his game. Now, this isn't also me being cruel to Vini because I'm going to give him flowers where flowers are due. I think that he's giving us more games than he was giving us last season in terms of like, just giving us good games, good games, good games. I think that he's giving us more this season than last season. I think last season you could go through like 5 games in a stretch and say that Vini did not have a good game, right? But this season now, maybe this game is not the greatest game. This game is a good game. This game is a decent game kind of thing. Nothing really to say, nothing bad or good to say. So I'll give him that, right? Like, if there's anything that we can say is that the consistency is building. But at the same time, we just need to see it like we need to see it in a stretch. I don't want form. I don't want a purple patch. I don't want a crazy game. I want a crazy season. I want Vini is cooking. I don't want Vini cooked. That's exact. I don't want Vini cooked. I want Vini is cooking. Vini is cooking this season. Oh my God, did you see Vini against Levante? Did you see him against Mallorca? Did you see him against Espanyol? Did you see him against Atletico Madrid, Bilbao, Barca? Cooking, not cooked. That's what I want to see from Vini, honestly, because we're seeing it from Mbappe now. We're seeing Mbappe cook on a consistent level. And I've said this, right? I've said this, that Vini doesn't always have to cook every single game. The point about having two major stars, people that like Mavericks can actually carry your team. Yeah, the point about having two of them in your team is that like they don't always have to cook every game at the same time. Like it's almost like a way to give the other one time off. Like you're looking at the whole Liverpool Isaac Salah situation, right? And you're thinking that like if Isaac started cooking, like it wouldn't really matter that much that Salah is struggling right now. But because Isaac is still trying to get into form, still trying to get into shape, and Salah is struggling at the same time, is like what is going on here? Like it is an absolutely bomb situation. But that's not the point. Like if one of them was balling, then you wouldn't necessarily be saying like, yes, you notice that Salah is having terrible games, but you'd be like, oh, he needs a break. Isaac step up. But with Vini now, yeah, it's like Mbappe is balling on a constant level, but there's always going to be 1 or 2 games where Mbappe is kind of off. He'll still have a decent game, but he's not necessarily doing the Mbappe things that I've seen him to do this season that we know him to be, right? So those type of games is now where Vini now needs to step up and not become the guy, kind of show that like when Mbappe is sleeping, I'm up, I'm ready. That's why I brought up the Atletico Madrid game. That's why I brought up the Espanyol game, because those 2 games, Mbappe was not having the greatest game of all time. Like, he wasn't having the greatest game of all time, especially the Atletico Madrid game. He wasn't having a good game. So, as much as everybody was struggling in that game, as much as Atletico Madrid had us shut down, I'm looking at Vini and I'm thinking, can you step up when Mbappe is sleeping? Can you step up when the pressure is on Mbappe? Can you step up like when everybody is focus on Mbappe? Can you now be the guy to be like, oh, Mbappe, I'm here. I'm here. Remember when Rodrigo was doing the whole don't forget the R thing? That's what I want to see. Don't forget the V. Don't forget the V. Don't forget the Vini in the equation. Like, it's not all about M. It's not all about Mbappe. It's about Vini. Don't forget that. Do not forget that. And I'm thinking about that. And I'm just saying that, like, can Vini do this consistent? Can Vini do this week in, week out? Can we depend on him in games? Can we depend on him to cook? Or do we have to say, oh, what do we expect now? Because I don't want that. I've seen that before. I've seen that with Rashford. Not comparing Vini to Rashford, but I've seen that with Rashford. I've seen that with players that you just can't fully get behind because you don't know what they're going to cook. Like, you don't know if they're going to cook this game and have a terrible game. And that's the situation with Vini right now. You couldn't really say that about you couldn't say that at all about him in 2024, 2023, whenever you want to talk about. You couldn't really say that about him. But nowadays, you see, I don't know what Vini I'm getting today, and I don't want to see that from him. I want to see a consistent performance. I want to see him cook consistently. I want to see him cook over the course of the season. Yes, you can have a few off games here and there. We're good to give you that. Let it pass and everything, but he needs to show that he can cook consistently. He needs to show that he can cook week in, week out. That's what he needs to do. And I think that one of the ways that he can do that is trying to build a relationship with somebody in the team. Because I'm looking at Mbappe right now here, and now he has built that relationship with Adagula. They're almost like they're in sync. That in sync is giving Ozil and Ronaldo. They're in sync. Adagula just knows when Mbappe is making that run. Even against Atletico Madrid, the assist that he gave Mbappe, the one moment out of a terrible game that we could say. So you could see that in sync. They always know. They know what's going on. And Vini had that with Toni Kroos. Saw it in the Bayern game, the Barcelona assist as well. Multiple occasions. I'm not just going to give one or two occasions. Multiple occasions. The UV preseason match. Multiple occasions. We could see that relationship building with the player in the team. But I think that right now, he doesn't really have that relationship with anybody. Like, there's really nobody in the team that, like, you say that, oh, him and Vini are on the same wavelength. The same way you can see Adagula and Mbappe on the same wavelength. So I think that he does need to build that relationship with somebody in the team. There's really nobody in the team right now that is consistent necessarily. Like, Mastantuano is consistently in the team, but like, you never know what happens the next day. Tchouaméni, you can't really say Tchouaméni and Vini, like, as much as Tchouaméni has his passing range and everything, I won't really depend on that. Vini never really plays with the fullback too often, so I don't know how him and Alvaro Carreras can build a relationship, but I do think that a relationship does need to be built to someone in the team. It can be Bellingham. Maybe when Bellingham fully gets back into the team, starting week in, week out, maybe it can be Bellingham. Maybe it can be Bellingham. Maybe it can be Bellingham that he says, okay, it's Adagula and Mbappe, it is me and you. Yes, obviously, at the end of the day, they all need to gel as a team and everything, but let him cook with somebody. Like, I feel like most situations where, like, you see a player cooking, there's always like a Robin. Like, as much as there's always a Batman, there's always a Robin. Like, we saw it with Benzema as well. Benzema and Vini, crazy relationship. That was like one of the craziest Batman and Robin seasons ever. Salah and Trent. Look at Salah the first season that Trent is not here anymore. Look washed. Yes, you can say that age is catching up to him and everything. That's the reason. But one of the noticeable factors between this season and last season is that Trent is not here anymore. He doesn't have a relationship with anybody in the team necessarily. So you're thinking about that and you're just thinking that maybe if Vinny can actually build a relationship with somebody in the team, consistently in the team, maybe he can actually cook, because Mbappe built a relationship with Adagula. Mbappe is trying to build a relationship with people in the team, which is something I don't think that he tried enough last season. I think that they tried to do Vini and Mbappe, obviously, because, the star man in the team. Obviously, they expect Vini and Mbappe to build up a relationship that can destroy teams, right? But like, that's proven to not necessarily work. Like, yes, this season we're seeing it work more and more. We're seeing glimpses, hope that this partnership can become the most deadly partnership in Europe. But like, if we're being real, like, it might never work to the level that we want it to work. It might never work to that, like, crazy, crazy, crazy world class level. So let's start building relationship with other people in the team. Let Mbappe keep this relationship that he has with Adagula in the team right now, and let Vini try and build a relationship. My best bet is Bellingham. I think that when Bellingham gets back into the team, I think that him and Vini can cope with storm. I've already seen like glimpses of the partnership. I've seen multiple assists for Vini from Vini for Bellingham, multiple assists from Bellingham from Vini. I remember the Girona game, Napoli game as well. Multiple occasions I've seen the relationship, the outside foot pass from the wings for Bellingham's run. Bellingham, I've seen him give Vini assist here and there as well. So we can see the relationship kind of build so that we can now say that these guys are cooking. So it's like a square where Adagula and Mbappe, Vini and Bellingham, like they're all cooking, right? And then that way, everybody can cook at the same time because I don't want a situation where, oh, Mbappe cooks in this game and Vini is silent, or and then, oh, Vini cooks in this game and Mbappe is silent. I don't want a situation where one of them have to not be cooking for the other one to cook. I want everybody to cook at the same time. I want everybody to cook in the same half. Like I feel like some situations like, oh, Vinny cooked the first half, Mbappe cooks in the second. Or sometimes like, oh, Vinny cooked in this game and Mbappe didn't cook. Mbappe cooked in this game, Vinny didn't cook. I want it to be all of them are cooking at the same time. And what's the way to do that? Build relationship with people in the team. Build relationship with people in the team so that everybody can be cooking. Because now every time you're thinking about the fact that Mbappe cooked, you're thinking about the fact that Adagola also cooked in this game. So I feel like now you can do a thing where like, oh, every time Vinny cooks, Bellingham cooks in this game as well. So that's something that Xabi Alonso can kind of work on. That's something they can work on themselves as well. If they all want to cook at the same time, they want to be at that top level. So I do think that that's the key to unlocking Vinny, building that relationship with somebody in the team. And I think that the best bet is Bellingham. Yeah, but like honestly, kudos to Vinny for trying to keep up what's keeping up and everything, trying to like keep up those constant performances. But I want to see more of it. I want to see it over the stretch of a season, not just one game, not just two games. I want to see it over the stretch of a season. Can we see that from Vinny? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But with that comes the end of this episode. Thank you guys again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And I'm gonna try and stay consistent, keep on pushing out episodes, and I just hope to see you guys again next time. Safe.